Hello. Let me just set up here. Hi there. I'm Tamra, the Judeo-Christian medium. Let me just adjust my set here. Okay. Oh, Chloe's just about to come in. Let me let her in. Hello.
Hello, how are you? Oh, hi,
Good, Chloe. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you too. How have you been?
Good, yeah, good. Lots of like small projects and creative flow that's going through me, so it's fun. And spring is on the horizon, so it's boosting my energy.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Do you
Mhm.
try to get some sun?
I do, but honestly, when it's so cold, it's hard to go outside.
Yeah.
I don't really like the harsh cold, but I try my best. Hmm.
Yeah, me too. My spiritual team makes me do that, like in the morning,
Hmm.
have me look out towards the sun. So,
Hmm.
okay, so let me get started. I'll tell my audience I'm Tamra, the Judeo-Christian medium. Welcome to my channel. And we have Chloe, I'm going to try to say your name correctly, Chloe DeChevigny.
DeChevigny, yeah.
Okay. I've got to work on my little accent, DeChevigny. Um, Beautiful name. So, like I said, I'm a Judeo-Christian medium. That means I'm a Jewish Christian medium. And I discovered that throughout a lifetime of metaphysical experiences, including out of body experiences, near death experiences, psychic experiences, help from other people in astrology, palm reading, um, what is it called? Aura readings, things like that. And finally, after years of being hit in the head with this, I finally started reading tarot, had another near-death experience that I, when I came back, well, I started what is called a review, a life review, and simultaneously a dark night of the soul. So, anyway, that's enough about me for now. I'm going to link my experiences. So far, I've made videos of my experiences from birth until 10 and 10 until 20. So I have to work on that. Chloe is here to talk about her metaphysical experiences, her experiences with, and we're going to simultaneously talk back and forth, so I can help her answer some of her experience. Well, talk to her about some of her experiences because so I saw you, Chloe, on the Jeff Mara show, which
Hmm.
is about all of this stuff, but also heavily focused on what is it, ETs?
Yeah, like star seeds, UFOs, and all of that, but it's all connected. So,
Yes.
and you'll understand why when I explain.
Okay. And so just to get started too, and this is very important for you, I just would like to say a prayer to thank my spiritual team. And also, Chloe, try to keep this in mind as a filmmaker. I'm going to have this, you as a filmmaker, not me. But eventually I'm going to have this animated because it's so beautiful.
Hmm.
And over time, my spiritual team has been coming to me in different ways, like
Mhm.
in showing themselves as famous people, showing themselves as, a typical angel, showing themselves as their name and
Mhm.
as just colors. And
Mhm.
so today I'd like to explain it in like a swirly way. They are a rainbow. And I would like you, when you close your eyes, to picture this like an orchestra, with like a circle around me, then another circle, then another circle, then um, it goes down. It's kind of like a flan. But so this spiritual team that I'm talking about is in the 12th dimension. And it goes down 11, 10, 9, 8, all the way to Earth. And this is the rainbow. This is what we think of as the rainbow connection to the other side. This is the origin of that. So, what I'd like to do, and also please interrupt anytime you have questions. Being part of this spiritual group, which you are, is referred to from neurotypicals, especially reptilian group, as to be on the spectrum of autism and the spectrum of ADHD and all kinds of other things. But according to our team, it's just who we are.
Mhm.
So interrupt anytime, even during the prayer, okay? All right, so let's close our eyes. Take a few deep breaths. So I would like to thank God. God comes to me from my upper right. I can't explain God, but the energy is white and it's very healing. That white light comes down from my right to connect to Jesus. And Jesus wanted to remind me that he's with Mary. So Jesus and Mary, they are one group. They so thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you for life. They've also asked me to describe them in just one word. They are so much more. As I said, God connects to Jesus through this light, Jesus and Mary, who are very indigo, but they're also surrounded by white light. Sometimes it's violet, sparkly, but they're very indigo. Thank you, Jesus and Mary. Thank you for peace. Jesus connects to Mother Mary, who sits on my right-hand shoulder. And she is also very indigo, same colors as Jesus and Mary. Thank you, Mother Mary. Thank you for comfort. Mother Mary connects over to my left-hand shoulder to Father Joseph. Thank you, Father Joseph. Thank you for stability. He is the same colors as they are, a little bit more violet today. I think he wants to emphasize that he connects over back to this right-hand side of the orchestra. He connects to Archangel Michael, who is very indigo, same colors around him as the rest, but very indigo. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Thank you for protection. Now we have like a smaller circle here. Archangel Michael connects to Archangel Metatron, who just likes to be called Metatron. Thank you, Metatron. Thank you for entertainment. So as you can see, we have like white, violet, indigo, and now we're connecting over to Metatron, who is very orange, red, and yellow. And there are in between connections of green to him. We'll show you in the outer circle. Thank you, Archangel Metatron. Thank you, Metatron. Thank you for entertainment. Archangel Metatron connects over to Archangel Eric Medhus. Archangel Eric Medhus is part of Archangel Uriel. It's very indigo with the same light around him, but he's branched off. His mother, Elise Medhus, has a channel on YouTube. She's been channeling Eric since his passing. He, since his passing, has become a communicator for us to this team and to other groups who have passed. So if anyone would like to talk to someone who has passed, ask Archangel Eric Medhus to connect you and Jesus for protection. So Archangel Eric Medhus connects over to Archangel Gabriel, who sits right in front of me, who's very red. Thank you, Archangel Gabriel. Thank you for acceptance. It's very warm. So Archangel Gabriel connects past Michael, and there's a whole swirly connection here. So picture the colors all swirling like a tornado. So Archangel Gabriel connects over to Archangel Sandalphon, who is very white. Thank you, Archangel Sandalphon. Thank you for intelligence. Now, the colors will also make sense because this whole group are Pleiadians, very indigo, Arcturians, who are red, orange, and yellow, and tall whites, who are very white. So thank you, Archangel Sandalphon. Thank you for intelligence. So Archangel Sandalphon connects to Archangel Raphael, who is very violet. Thank you, Archangel Raphael. Thank you for healing. So this is very important to you, Chloe, because you are in the spiritual group of the grandchildren of Archangel Raphael and Archangel Jophiel, which we'll get to in just a minute. So try to picture that. So that is 1, 2, 3 degrees out. And so that's how you were created. That's who you will always be. You can do whatever, you can go as far as you can while you're on earth. You could surpass any spiritual being. So this isn't like ranking. This is just, it's very hard to explain, but this is just who you are, who your spirit is, how you were created. And it's like sacred geometry. So they haven't, I don't fully have the math on like the exact connections there, but they have given me this information. So let's try to keep that in mind spiritually. So we are at Archangel Raphael. Thank you for healing. Archangel Raphael connects over to Archangel Azrael, who is similar colors to, very Pleiadian, but also has a little extra violet. So similar colors to Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Thank you, Archangel Azrael. Thank you for organization. Now, Chloe, if you ever want to pray for these things quickly, so you can say, you have to do your taxes or a form, say, Archangel Azrael, please help me with this organization. Archangel Azrael, and thank you, Archangel Azrael. Thank you for organization. Archangel Azrael connects to Archangel Jophiel. Now, keep in mind, so you are in the group of the spiritual grandchildren of both Archangel Raphael and Archangel Jophiel. So, Archangel Jophiel, thank you for magical beauty. So Archangel Jophiel is very sparkly, a little bit of indigo, a little bit of violet, but a little bit of white, but very sparkly silver and gold. So also, I don't want this to get lost. Dolores Cannon is in the spiritual group of the children. Now, you're a grandchild, but the spiritual group of the children of Archangel Raphael and Archangel Sandalphon. So she is a mother to you. So that is on the other side. That could manifest in past lifetimes, in future lifetimes. And she's here shaking her head yes. So we'll just keep that idea right there. So as we're continuing on, our Archangel Jophiel connects over to Archangel Uriel, which is me, which I'm very indigo. Like I said, we are all this group, Pleiadians, Arcturians, and tall whites, but I manifest myself as very Pleiadian. You can see the indigo blue. So I'd like to thank Archangel Uriel, my higher self, for my mission. So part of my mission as me in this lifetime and my past lifetimes is to help others with their mission through various ways. And someday I'll post my lifetimes. But moving on, Archangel Uriel connects to Archangel Zadkiel. Thank you, Archangel Zadkiel. Thank you for balance. So now we're it's going into green. Archangel Zadkiel connects over to Archangel Jeremiah. Thank you, Archangel Jeremiah. Thank you for wildness. So we're going into yellow now. Archangel Jeremiah connects over to Archangel Raguel. Thank you, Archangel Raguel. Thank you for swagger. Archangel Raguel is very red, very connected to Archangel Gabriel right here. Archangel Raguel connects over to Archangel Chamuel. Thank you, Archangel Chamuel. Thank you for calm. Archangel Chamuel is very light blue. Archangel Chamuel connects to Archangel Ezekiel. Thank you, Archangel Ezekiel. Thank you for nutrition. Very corn colored. Archangel Ezekiel, like a harvest. Thank you. Connects over to Archangel Haniel. Thank you, Archangel Haniel. Thank you for sleep. She's coming in as they're all he, she, but she's coming in as a she, very light pink. Thank you, Archangel Haniel. Thank you for sleep. Archangel Haniel connects over to Archangel Daniel. Thank you, Archangel Daniel. Thank you for humor. Archangel Daniel's coming in as very red, very connected, and also to Metatron. So you can see we have the circle. So just briefly, when God created humanity here on Earth, he got together with beings who were already present on different planets. So he got together with the Pleiadians from the Pleiades, the Arcturians from Arcturus, the tall whites who are also from Arcturus. And this is very, very, very basic. There's been all kinds of things since this, but and the reptilians who are from Mars. So he got together with these groups and created humanity, creating humanity with the reptilians being at 50% of humanity and the galactic beings with the other 50%. Now, why do I call them galactic beings? Because the energy, their energy is more comfortable on the other side. So in these realms, in these higher dimensions, but they come here to Earth to do their spiritual work, their missions. So galactic beings have a mission. Reptilians, why I don't call them galactic beings, is they've really dug in their heels. They're very home on Earth. They're actually they're happy on the other side, but they're more uncomfortable on the other side. So they pretty much rule Earth, and their energy is the dominant energy of Earth, especially like in darker times. And I'm not calling them dark. They are less vulnerable than galactic beings. So they can be a little bit more influenced by the dark. Now, just quickly, where evil comes from is throughout history, we've seen the idea of Judas, the idea of traitor, the idea of evil, of darkness. That is from originally a reptilian who God put into the same group in various circumstances to elevate humanity. A circumstance that we're all familiar with are the disciples, which I tried to touch upon with you when I started talking about St. Peter, but I went off on a tangent. And that was a message to you about discipline. So that's where the word disciples comes from. But anyway, there was a betrayal energy, a traitor energy, and that energy got so dark that it couldn't, when that energy passes, it can't go past the fourth dimension. And so there is an energy, a dark reptilian energy, that decided just to stay there. Now, if beings, reptilians, create so much darkness, or sometimes starseeds, they will go there until they, it's very hard to explain, but they go through this whole process that is very challenging to explain. I'll try to explain it as like, I guess it would be sort of just repentance, prayer. People say call out to Jesus, but they might experience their life review in that realm. And so that's what some people refer to as hell. So, it is experiencing, feeling what they did to others. And in that realm, it's a little bit harsher. But so I think that pretty much explains this and where you are. And so when I get into your reading after you talk, just we'll refer back to that. So I'm gonna just have you introduce yourself and talk about your experiences. And thank you, everyone. They're gonna be sitting.
Yes, thank you. So I consider that my whole life has been a spiritual journey. When I was like a baby, I have conscious memories of when my mom would breastfeed me, and like I can clearly see in my mind's eye, like her looking at me with unconditional love and like that bond that we had as a mother and child. Like I remember those memories. And so fast forward a few years, I do recall being visited when I was like under 5 years old. I remember it as a screen image of an owl, and it feels like a really strange dream. And I believe that dreams are just our astral body traveling in other realms. Like I don't believe that dreams are just like stories that your brain are inventing. Like I believe that we're doing work on the other side when we're sleeping.
Okay, so let me stop you there. So going back to when you were a baby, so that's a very common experience for especially where you are in the galactic sphere. That's very
Mhm.
common. Um, you're coming in in a very high vibration, and you're meant to remember that. And they're saying that when you were a baby too, especially you being a grandchild, very sensitive. So they were constantly checking on you, talking to you. So that they're showing me. So I experienced the same thing. My mom would come into my room and I wouldn't be crying, even though I needed to be fed and I needed to be changed. She said she found me talking and laughing. And so that was with this group. And that also explains the spectrum, how parents can get frustrated with children that are on the spectrum, somewhere on the spectrum. And that's something you might want to check out because that's where that what parents can feel as like, oh, they're not paying attention to everything going on in the room. Obviously you looked at your mom and you had that connection, but that's because I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but there's that connection there. And so what was your second experience was the owl, and which is very galactic. That's very over in this area, where the tall whites are, which, Archangel Raphael, your grandparent, is part of the tall whites. So that's their way of showing you, we're here, we're talking to you psychically, we're protecting you. So, as far as dreams go, what they've told me is it's both. So we do have to, we work out things in our physical mind. Um, those are those just random bits that don't, you can feel they don't really have meaning. And yes, we astral travel and we connect to our spiritual team. Anyway, I'll let you go on.
So yeah, so when I was a child, I was very scared of being alone in the dark, and I would like not be able to sleep for hours, and I would like have to go like wake up my parents because I just couldn't be alone in my room. Like I personally like don't recall any like encounters with like negative beings. But I just the energy in the room. Like I feel like since I was so like open and like my gifts were like open, like the darker energies were like
Yes,
uh,
so this
mhm,
is also when I was watching Chloe's testimony on the Jeff Mara show, I kept shouting out all of these answers. So so far I've made a short on YouTube, and someone actually drew these oh shoot, these dark beings. So I'm glad that you either didn't see them or you don't remember it.
mhm,
Um, but I do. So I haven't made a video on this. I remember being afraid when I was younger, but I believe it was around high school in through college. And then as I started it tapered off up, but that's a whole uh, video in itself. But anyway, these dark beings, this is the dark reptilian energy manifesting itself as in many different ways. But I experienced seeing them in like black hats, walking away from me, going into my closet, and I experienced them sitting on my chest.
mhm,
And so when we're born, the dark reptilian energy can see our light,
mhm,
and it basically messes with us.
mhm,
Yes, and that's why um, you'll see a lot of spiritual practitioners, religious figures talking about protecting yourself and praying and religion. And there's more to it of being on the right mission as a galactic being and as a reptilian being on the right life path.
mhm,
Um, yes, reptilians have life paths and galactic beings have missions. So less so, they less mess with the reptilians. They're um, doing what they did to you, scaring you.
mhm.
And
Well, it worked.
yeah. And you went to your parents for protection. Yeah.
And my dad was like, it's not real. It's your imagination. I'm like, okay. But it did help me like eventually fall back to sleep. So I am grateful for him telling me that because it was like I would be in the bed with my mom, like my mom would come sleep with me, but if she would fall asleep before me, it didn't change anything that she was there. You know what I mean? I
Right,
was still
right.
scared. So I feel like my dad's skepticism like saved me when I was younger, honestly. Yeah.
And that's how your grandfather, Archangel Sandalphon, would talk to you.
Mhm.
Very intellectual, say, they don't have power over you, Chloe.
Yeah.
So go to sleep.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and Jesus would, say, give you peace and ask you to call out.
Mhm.
If you are in a dark spiritual situation and you call out Jesus, they will shrivel. Yeah. Um, um, yes, you could see the power dynamic between the fourth dimension and the 12th dimension.
Mhm.
So, and Jesus is a protector.
Mhm.
So, they also visit people in different ways. Sometimes they will physically manifest themselves as the men in black for
Mhm.
people who have had ET experiences, alien experiences with the ship, which I told you about. And I'll give you more details about my experience with the ship before I forget, because I left out a couple details. So I told you that I was just about to have a kidney operation on my tubes. One tube was weak. And during this time, my parents also told me that they said that I was going through a period of sleepwalking. So they would find me in various parts of the house.
Mhm.
And so when I had this experience, they found me at the front door. And so what the experience was, what I actually remember, and then they explained to me what it was I was about to have that operation, which was not part of my like life mission. That wasn't supposed to happen. So they were um, allowed, there are rules here on earth. They were allowed to heal me. So they came with the ship. I went on the ship. All I remember is the ramp, holding my stuffed animal, which Jesus reminded me was my stuffed Casper, the ghost doll. And, feeling the presence of a huge crowd to the left, which were my ancestors. And I do remember the briefly, just a quick, brief flash of the operating table.
Mhm.
And then I remember my parents being like, why are you at the front door? And so Jesus put it all together for me that year. I had many, many experiences. But anyway, just to let you know that. And also, they want to let you know. So, this is my disclosure. So, this will come up later as far as how to handle other people's disclosures with your work.
Mhm.
But we'll talk about that later. But anyway, go on.
So yeah, I was scared growing up, like, and that lasted like uh in my late teens.
So, scared
Like,
to go to sleep.
yeah, like my dad collected movies, so like we would watch movies all the time. Like it was just a tradition that we had, and like it could be like any movie. Like at one point we watched Jurassic Park, and I was old, like I was 12, 13. Like, I was pretty mature for my age too. But at night I was convinced that dinosaurs were still around, and like I could like tap into like the energy of like the dinosaurs and everything. So, some people say that time is like parallel timelines, and that everything is going on all at once, and that the past is really just going now. So it's like I was tapping into that dimension, and I was like, they're here. They're here. But in the day I would be like, why was I even like thinking about that? So it's like at night I was like the most open versus like during the day, for example. I don't know why it does that at night.
Okay, so this is what happens. So during the day, we're very connected to Earth and others, and we're doing our tasks, and we can also distract ourselves. At night, our spirit elevates too. And so you were, being who you are spiritually and having your experiences, you were more connected to this team. And that's also so think of it as the devil and angel on your shoulder, trying to contact you. And until we have control over that, unfortunately, we agree that things can really go south when we get here, that the dark energy preys on us and the light. And so
Mhm.
it's spiritual warfare. It's on the other side, it's here. And that's where like all the religion and the prayers and the spirituality comes in, but you're just a child. And
Mhm.
so, as far as parallel timelines, okay, that doesn't exist on Earth in the physical, but
Mhm.
your mind, your spirit remembers past lives. So it's going to remember the dinosaurs. It's going to remember your experiences with your past lives. And plus, as a spiritual being, you're going to get into the movie as a child. Um, oops, sorry, my phone. Let me turn this off. So just as a child, sorry, I got distracted. Could you remind me where we were
Uh,
at night?
yeah, that I was like tapping into like past lives. Hmm.
Yes. So being somewhere what they call on the spectrum too, as a galactic being, it's hard for galactic children to differentiate between what's actually happening and
Hmm.
because you experience so much on the other side, that connection.
Hmm.
So I think you had asked me when we talked before this, you said, like, what did you think when you were a child and you had these, when I talked to you about astral travel, you said, what did you think? And I I couldn't like Earth was so weird to me. It was those astral travel, those experiences were more normal to me.
More real.
So, yeah, than going through the motions of daily life here on Earth, which is what we call autism here on Earth, which I have to get checked out. I don't know. I know the spiritual stuff, so it doesn't need like quite a
Mhm.
label or something. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, so okay, so there's that. And anyway, I'll let you go on.
Um, so yeah, so when I was in high school, I would have like very strange dreams where I died 3 times in my dreams. One of them I like fell off a bridge and like died from that. The other one I drowned, and the other one I was in a building and there was an explosion and the ceiling crashed over me. And in those dreams, like I when I died, like I felt immense like peace and like the feeling of going back home, and I was in this black void and I just felt my soul like expand and become everything. So like for a dream, you wake up and you're like, oh yeah, like there's no death. Like it just continues. You like
Just no.
energy just transforms into something else. So I had that awareness like throughout my high school. And then I also experienced psychedelics which confirmed a lot of what I already knew beforehand. So we can get into my experiences too, but it's like so important on my spiritual journey because it like really confirmed things that I already knew because we all have the answers within, right?
Yeah.
So, mhm.
And so for you, how did you differentiate what was happening spiritually to what was happening on earth? Did you struggle with that at all?
I mean, like the 3D world is, it's limited in many ways and you get to deal with sorry for my expression, but assholes, like, it's life. And like, I was just like, why, like, why
Were
are they acting like
why,
that?
why, 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 why?
There's so
Yeah.
much more to life, like, chill. Just always questioning school. I'm like, I
Yeah.
need to pee and you're not letting me go pee.
Yes,
Like I'm 16. Can I like make my own decisions? Just like authority. I just like, why? Why?
yes.
Why all the control? Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but so socially, I've always been very immature. And I guess when people, what that means earthly is naive.
Hmm.
So I had a very hard time seeing like, or just understanding uh, the darkness in social interactions. So that's considered naive.
Mhm.
So I'm experiencing sort of this social naivete of like still wanting to go roller skating and play touch football in high school and not wanting to, really date anyone or wear like, um, clothes that are not comfortable. Um, so anyway, that I like you, and I hope that this is helping. I know it's considered rude to, bring things back to yourself, but this is like how I help.
Mhm.
So there's this dichotomy in galactic children where they're actually starting to develop solutions on how to help humanity, reading into people's souls and what they need, like maybe seeing like, oh, my teacher seems depressed. Trying to figure out these social dynamics. Um, maybe with the ADHD, like leaving your purse somewhere or something like that. So it's this weird mixture of like struggle. It's like the way that Jesus explained it to me is that you're simultaneously all of your lifetimes and a child growing up. So you're experiencing what it feels like to grow up here on earth at the
Mhm.
same time as having this wisdom. And a lot of galactic beings will go through periods of being told, and this happens with autism and ADHD, that that you're a wise ASS, you're not respectful, not following the rules. And some of that could be true. There's rebellion,
Mm.
natural human rebellion, but there's also sometimes of like, this is ridiculous. Yeah. And I can remember having those moments at the same time, like not being able to open my locker, like figure out the lock,
Mhm.
but me thinking, how old is this central heating system? Because it's blowing on me. It's drying out my skin. It's making me sick because I know that when I come to school, I feel sick.
Mhm.
So it's like things like that. Um, so that's a the most basic explanation for that. But anyway, go on.
Um, so yeah, I experienced psychedelics at like 15, 16, so that like connected me even more. And then I had this experience on Silas magic mushrooms where I hadn't taken that much, but I had a really profound experience. So I was at my friend's house and it was late, like she was drinking and I didn't drink like I did mushrooms. And so like she was just ready to go to bed and for me it was like my experience was starting. So at first it was very like dark and negative and I was seeing like this like dark witch like standing right in front of me. Like you said, like the black hat and everything. And at one point, I'm like, welcome. I'm like accepting the presence because I'm like, it's not, it felt dark, but it didn't feel like it wanted to attack me or anything. So I was like, do
That's
your thing.
your, yeah, your attitude.
I'm like, do your thing. Like I'm done like trying to like fight and then my experience like completely switched and like I stepped out of my body and I was in that void again, the black void, and it was like it was my purest essence. I tapped into my purest essence and I was like, it's not my first incarnation. I'm pretty much like part of everything because at the source you're just everything. Like I all those fragments came back together and I was like crying of joy of like I've always knew. I've always knew. And it was like nothing else matters. I'm such a powerful being. All those negative energies, they can't like affect me at that level. And that was just like, wow, I can do whatever I want with my life. Like I'm in control. So that was a big aha moment. I was like 18. So after that, I just followed my intuition and I had other experiences here and there, but like that just confirmed like I'm not taking shit from anyone.
Yes, and that
Like
goes back,
respectfully. Yeah.
and
Because
that goes
I'm
back.
my own I'm my own powerful being. You can't impose anything on me. Yeah.
Yeah, and that goes back to sort of like Archangel Sandalphon speaking through your dad, speaking to you. And that's something that they try to do too. And your dad too, having that wisdom of telling you that you are more powerful
hmm
than the dark, we call it the dark reptilian energy.
hmm
Um, throughout time it's been called all different things, the devil.
hmm
But so that's when you sealed. And it's very amazing that you did that at a time where the psychedelics open you up. Now, I've never done psychedelics. I've partied, but I haven't done psychedelics or anything strong like that because I heard a very strong no, no. So I've never done that, and I was scared, and I also it was just something I knew. But as far as your strength of understanding in that moment, about your mission, for me, that didn't come until uh, I had my final near-death experience.
hmm
Like that sort of understanding, and seriousness that, okay, I have a mission. Um, Unfortunately for me, some of those experiences led to, and my own disposition of being a little too lax about my mission, like doing all kinds of things that I found to be fun, acting, improv, Shakespeare, all this stuff, and burning the candle at both ends, but not being serious enough about what I was doing. So congratulations to you at such a young age for like figuring that out. That's awesome. Yeah.
hmm But I've had many dark nights of the soul. Like it hasn't been like a perfect straight line. And I feel like life is about, we're always learning. The soul is constantly learning through hardships and everything. But those dark nights of the soul, like keep bringing me even more towards my path because it's like, hey, you're doing this. It's not bringing you in the right direction. Like, in the beginning, maybe it was, but eventually it's like, okay, I've learned this lesson, time to move on. But yeah, just like we're cyclic beings too, we have to understand that also.
Yes. And I'm sorry if I jump on your words. It's just
That's okay.
they talk to me. And so the tests get more intense. Yeah. Um, so great that you figured that out, but the dark reptilian energy knows that you figured that out too. And
Mhm.
so the higher you rise, they'll test you any way that they can. And a lot of spiritual beings will develop, successful people will develop what others see as OCD.
Mhm.
Like, I need three battery backups. I'm just using an example. This is not me, but people, it may be in very high up in the film industry that know, and you'll start to figure out that others know, like
Mhm.
they'll have like three batteries for their backup, an extra computer. Um, they'll do rituals, uh, which can look like a ritual, which can be a ritual, could be prayers and rituals mixed together. They will make sure that they are showered, clean, have these strict rules about their
Mhm.
home, about people entering their home, about who they hire, things like that as they get along, because the dark reptilian energy can come to you through all kinds of things, through electronics,
Mhm.
addictions, people. I don't know if you've randomly experienced just hanging out with someone or being with strangers and it doesn't fit in, it's incongruous. They may just say something dark to you.
Mhm.
And then even if you ask them, they'll say they don't remember.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've
Like
experienced.
like they're channeling that dark energy. But yeah, I do understand. And like what you were saying about like I have to do this before I do this. It's like part of it is like you're trying to control like your outside world. Like it kind of means like you're not trusting the universe and you're trying to control. But at the same time, it's nice to have good, healthy boundaries. If you have the choice to let someone enter your room, and if not your room but your house, and if your intuition is like, because everyone is going through so many things, and like I'm very sensitive and very empathic, so it can affect me, and I'm like working on that to like protect my energy, but. Yeah, to not be too controlling, but also to have healthy boundaries for your own good. I
Yes,
think it's in.
yeah. And Jesus is saying also, do trust though, if you, the worst is that you end up overdoing it, looking like you're a bit OCD, but do trust those processes because things can go wrong, especially um, Jesus says astrology is real. So
Mhm.
like Mercury retrograde, things like that. And um, yes, trust the universe, which would be all of these spiritual beings that are helping you. Yes, trust God. Um, but you're now on Earth. You have free will.
Mhm.
So a lot of that is meeting them halfway. A lot of that is we do have to combat things breaking down. And the dark reptilian energy can make things break down, especially if you're too relaxed and you're not like uh Jesus said to take care of everything. And if you can't, then you have too many things. So to constantly get rid of this thing, add this thing, get rid of that thing. Like they had me move from a very large one bedroom into a studio. They had me sell everything. Now, I wasn't being some sort of monk. It's
Mhm.
just, it couldn't go with me where I needed to go. And I was raised completely differently. My family has furniture from generations.
Mhm.
So that was part of a dark night of the soul. I was a mess. But anyway, so it's a mixture.
Mhm.
And Jesus says, don't, you won't get it 100% right.
Mhm.
Um, he's saying you don't want to be a freak, but yeah, also you just want to keep on top of things. And if it makes you look a little more nerdy or anxious, that's okay.
Mhm.
And even when we do that, when the higher levels we go to, expect things to go wrong,
Mhm.
expect to lose things, and Metatron is coming through. Metatron was the Buddha. Um, you want to protect everything like it's gold, but in a case where something you find valuable does either get taken, even though you did everything, or broken, that's when this idea got lost. That's when it got lost to I think it was the Dalai Lama. It's been passed down over there, like where it's like think of everything that you have as already missing. There's some expression like that. But he's saying it's not exactly that. It's protect everything you have, protect everything that you're doing, everyone that you're working with. Um, Especially you. Remember, you are a grandchild of Raphael, who is a healer. So
Mhm.
you're a healer, and you have this sparkle, this magical beauty. So it's like this combination, but the healer part is you are a protector,
Mhm.
even though you are a grandchild. So they want to let you know when you cross over, they're going to smother you with attention and adoration, and they're showing me tickling. They adore you.
Mhm.
Now, when I cross over, it's going to be like, blip, here's your assignment.
On to the next mission.
Yeah, I'm a parent. I am almost at reptilian level of coming back, of wanting
Mm.
to come back.
Mhm.
I get obsessed with my missions. Short turnaround time. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, there's something else that I'm missing. We'll get back to it. So continue on.
Mm. So with the UFOs and everything, the extraterrestrials, like I practice CE5 with my partner, like as much as I can, like even during the winter, like sometimes I'll go outside on my balcony, even if it's like minus 15 Celsius, just because I'm like, I love connecting with them and they honestly almost always show up as blue orbs, golden orbs, flashes in the sky. Like sometimes they look like satellites, but then when I film them and I look back at the video, like that's not moving in a straight line. Like it's so funny how it's like subtle sometimes that they're there, but it's like you need to be like aware that they're there. And so I love that new part of my life. We can't wait for it to become warmer and just spend time outside and sky watching because they always show up, always. And I want, I'm trying to like, I'll talk to them telepathically and I'm like, you can come lower if you want. But I understand like divine timing and all of that, so I'm trying to not be disappointed like if they don't come closer, but I'm like if you want to show up in my bedroom, like you can do it, but I know that they're like waiting because they know that maybe it's gonna like shock my body. Uh,
Okay, so
but
it's
Mhm.
very hard for them to show up in your bedroom. Um, it's hard for the dark reptilian energy to show up in your bedroom too, or to show up as the men in black. But that's how hard they're willing to work to get to you. So once you start making those connections of being able to see them in the sky, um, they most likely won't be showing up in your bedroom anymore because they don't need to. Um,
Mhm.
that's that's very hard for them. You can ask them like, I would like to see you sometime, and uh, it's up to them. But what you're doing is actually, Jesus is saying, it's the best because you're uh, that's how they would like to show themselves to you, and you're on that discovery. So just to let you know, these four groups, the Pleiadians, Arcturians, Tall Whites, and Reptilians, all have ships, and
Mhm.
they use them for different reasons. They use them for telepathic communication, and I'm so glad you said what you said, because I've been experiencing the same thing where it almost seems like they wink at you. And
Mhm.
then I've said, like, say hi, and they'll blink. And then I've seen big ships, not like you see like in Star Trek, but big as far as the sky goes, like that looks like a plane, and it has like
Mhm.
colors, and then it just disappears. There's no clouds. It just
Mhm.
disappears. Now, Jesus would also like you to keep in mind that there might be some ships that you see that other people won't.
Mhm.
And just be confident, because so Jesus is saying oftentimes when like a Pleiadian ship will show itself to a Pleiadian, and maybe an Arcturian can see it, but a reptilian won't. And this is a weird thing, but I'll just explain it to you. They do take people on the ships to heal. They won't if you don't need that healing. Like they healed my. Oh yes, and see, a big part of that story, I ended up not having. We went back to the hospital to prep for surgery, and they said it was healed.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so throughout my lifetime, my mom, reptilian, um, was a little bit scared of
Mhm.
my brother and I, because like weird things would happen like that. Like not scared, but spooked out a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah. So okay. I I'm sure you've heard of people throughout history saying they've been like roughly experimented on
Mhm.
ships. That is true. That's
Mhm.
not going to happen to you. It's against the laws on Earth. That's not going to happen to you, but there are some reptilians who made a contract that when they come here, they agreed that they will be taken and experimented on. And
Mhm.
because it's a reptilian ship, there might be some dark reptilian energy involved. Um, they are they're just rougher physically, and they're not as comforting as this team here. like Jesus
Mhm.
and the archangels. So that's where people say like, oh, like it wasn't a fun experience, but they are hardy enough to experience that. It was in their contract. So that's where that comes from. So these ideas have been all mixed up in humanity that, some people think all aliens are all ships, UFOs are dark and evil, and if you don't run from them, they're going to capture you and experiment on you, and they want to start war, and they're against humanity. So that's where like these ideas come from.
Mhm.
According to my spiritual team, um, you have free will, so please keep an open mind that I'm just telling you, my my experience and my way of life, my what I know. Um,
Mhm.
and also know that I didn't tell you this. When you do substances, anything stronger than coffee, anything, Jesus told me, anything stronger than one alcoholic drink, you open yourself up a dark portal for
Mhm.
the dark reptilian energy to come in.
Mhm.
Um, and I've made videos, I'll make more videos about how the dark reptilian energy can come in. It's through all kinds of things, promiscuity, uh, substances, but for sure, drugs, for sure, mind altering drugs.
Mhm.
Um, but it's great that your spirit has gotten so strong that you had the wherewithal to say like no. Even when you
Uh,
were, yeah.
I've had so many bad experiences on like substances and everything, but at the end of the day, it's like I always go back to my power, and it's just
Well, you're very protected too, and you have a very specific mission that's being protected. But they said don't take it for granted because um, we've seen, I channel spirits who have passed, and we've seen incredibly strong spirits being taken out of this world. So the
Mhm.
stronger you get, uh, there's all kinds of devious methods.
Mhm.
Oftentimes, through business partnerships, relationships, um, where we talked about how someone could say this dark reptilian thing. Well, that could go to someone doing a dark reptilian thing. It depends on what's going on with that spirit. So, some people have been taken out by their staff. They have a moment of jealousy and they poison the person.
Mhm.
Or, a musician got sick and isn't canceled their tour. And the manager is so dark reptilian that takes him out. Because when you take out someone who hasn't aged out yet fully, then all of their stuff goes on sale. And that's where
Mhm.
they're like the mafia. Like, I'm gonna get my money. So
Mhm.
that's with film, that's
Mhm.
with all kinds of things. And there's a takeover energy. That's why Jesus has told me you got to be very careful of who you share a house with.
Mhm.
Um, what their thinking is. Um, okay, so we did skip over. Can you remember anyone randomly saying a dark thing to you that was incongruous with what was going on? And if you want to share,
Hmm.
or just a weird thing, or maybe a positive thing, because I've had all of those.
Well, I feel like the most impactful ones would be like my ex-boyfriend, or even sometimes like with my mom. Like I feel like they'll go reptilian on me, like just like in the way that they view me, and like they'll like tell me all my faults, and like I don't know, just like switch. And like I know that that's on them, but it really, I feel really like psychically attacked.
Yes.
It used to like really put me down, and like it would make me feel depressed and everything. But now I'm just like boundaries. Like if you're gonna talk to me like that, I'll block you.
Yes.
Like I don't have time for this anymore. Like especially when it's like kind of like I'm open to becoming better, and I'm not perfect, and I do have like flaws and everything, but it's in the way you tell me. If I feel like you're disrespecting me, I'm like, I don't know. I won't because I used to absorb that energy. And so I'm learning to like detach myself, and because I used to worry like, oh my God, like are they okay? Or are they sad? They're sad in this moment.
Like,
What can I
what can I
do?
do to make them act like that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like all the things that they would tell me, like how bad of a person I am, it was like it's kind of like mind control. It's really manipulation. So
Yes.
but if I don't have like examples right now of like random people, but it's just sometimes things that they'll say, their negativity, and I'm like, okay,
Yes.
I don't resonate with what you're saying. I don't resonate with your view of what the world and everything. So I feel like I see negativity in people all the time, like for sure, but I also see their good side. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it sounds like you have a good handle on it. And, Jesus says, always keep that in mind and remember, Jesus has told me a lot of, not always, because I've had such randomness, but when it's people close to you,
Mhm.
this is going to sound terrible, but he said to always have an escape hatch, like, because Shakespeare said familiarity is the breed of contempt. So it's when people get very comfortable, when there are like a reptilian way of being, a dark reptilian way of being is to trap people.
Mhm.
It could be just you have a contract to work with them, or you've agreed for them to be your, partner in this or that. There's that. Then there is just the randomness. So it could be like uh your mom or someone just they're having a dark moment.
Mhm.
So those things, that's how the dark reptilian can come through them. And sometimes it just comes from people being like, they're relaxed and they
Mhm.
aware of their um protection, like protecting themselves. So it could be like you're out having a couple of drinks, or someone's in a heightened state and the dark
Mhm.
reptilian energy can just come through them. Because I talked to Jesus about it, like now that I have this connection with them, like I went over them, all these things, like people have said all kinds of crazy things to me, like people in my life, and they didn't even remember. I'll give you one example. I had just gotten a job as a flight attendant. I was 22. It was a family member who loves birthdays, has always been really into birthdays. And I just was quickly passing through on my birthday, going to my base where I was based. And, you know, I had almost forgotten about my birthday. There was so much going on. And I was like, oh yeah, it's my birthday. And 21 was a big one. I was just so busy. And this person, this family member, I don't like calling people out. I'm not going to say names. Th they said it in this voice, and it reminds me of Stewie. And Jesus
Mm-hmm.
joked about this because that's how the dark reptilian energy will talk. It's very flat and mean,
Mm-hmm.
sarcastic,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously little baby Stewie has an English accent, so that's missing. But I've had the same voice transfer person to person to person. And this person said to me, this person who's not spiritual, metaphysical at all, said to me in that low, Stewie voice, well, aliens don't have birthdays. And I was so busy and I just couldn't absorb what this person said. And then another family member came in to add another punch. This family member was a teenager. And so they didn't remember my birthday, which is normal. I didn't live there. I was literally just passing through.
Mm-hmm.
And the teenager comes bouncing in and he says, oh my God, it's my friend's birthday. And I just got her this gift. And he's going on and on and on. And something inside of me, like I was so excited to start my new job. I had so much going on that I didn't give this weight. It was so ridiculous
Mm-hmm.
that I was just like, this is something, and I literally dealt with it like just recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had all kinds of experiences like that. Like I had this running joke with myself, and I think I told a couple other people that I look like George Washington. And George Washington is the son of Archangel Uriel, so I'm a parent. They haven't really explained all that to me. But anyway, like how we're connected on Earth. So I've made that joke. I used to fly all night. So I flew all night once. I'm coming through JFK, coming through the turnstile to go to take the subway. And this homeless person, now homeless people oftentimes are either very connected to the spiritual realm, like they're always praying and preaching like Jesus and stuff like that, or they've been taken over by a dark reptilian energy. So
Mm-hmm.
this woman turns to me and screams to the whole terminal, you look just like George Washington. I was like, oh my God. It was so funny. But anyway, I could make 10 videos on those kinds of experiences. So anyway, thank you for sharing. I'll go back to you. Anything else you'd like to share?
Mm. But yeah, I feel like everyone like I'm very like aware of like their intention when they talk to me, and so I'll pick up on if there's a even if it's someone I know they love me. Sometimes it's like maybe it's through jealousy or whatever, like where
Yes.
there's like so many like different emotional states we can be in and tap into. So, but I'll be I'm aware when someone is saying something kind of to put me down. It's not like they're not bad people. It's just like maybe it makes them feel better in the moment. I don't know, but I'm very, oh, like, I'm like, mm-hmm.
And you're very blessed and it's in a very specific way. So in this group, okay, this orchestra, on my right hand side, you saw where God and Jesus, and it's very tall white. They're the elders of the
Mhm.
universe. They're uh the intellectuals, the but they're also the elders. They're um, very powerful in their protection. And you're a grandchild of that group. So you're very favored. And so some people, I mean, very often on Earth, people forget to see how they're favored. You know, like I made a video, what does it mean to be a reptilian? And this isn't dark reptilian. And, you know, reptilians don't have a mission, but they have a life path, but they could still, within that, make a life for themselves just by like learning one thing and sticking with it, or helping others. And there's also a path for them, if they've had so many lifetimes and they're bored with what they're doing. They have an opportunity to become an earth angel
Mm.
by um, oftentimes it is working with galactic beings and doing something that they may seem as crazy. Yeah, they may see as crazy, and they may see it as being like a little too invulnerable, weak, naive, but they do it anyway. But their contract was to do that. And I'll give you a perfect example. Robert Kennedy. Um, Part of the Kennedy family are galactic. JFK was galactic, JFK Jr., um, Marilyn Monroe, JFK, Marilyn Monroe, and Jacqueline were all Archangel Sandalphon. Um, so that's a whole thing. They're a spiritual group. Um, they are Archangel Sandalphon. So JFK was Archangel Sandalphon. Marilyn Monroe is his twin flame. Jackie Kennedy was a soulmate of his. So part of their family is galactic and part are reptilians. And that's a whole big dynamic of like coming here as a galactic being and having a reptilian parent. And you've probably heard this dynamic of uh change what is it called, changing your family dynamic. It's big in the narcissistic, in the narcissistic community, being a changer. It can be like a scapegoat. It can be I can't remember the exact words, because now I'm like in this spiritual. It's like you come to change the family dynamic. But anyway, I'm going off too far. That's why. So Robert Kennedy, he's working for Trump now. He originally uh, tried to be president, tried to get elected as president, and it's not his mission. His mission, Robert Kennedy, he's reptilian, is to become like an earth angel. And it's been very hard for him. Imagine your uncle is John F. Kennedy. You're connected to you're a Kennedy. You're connected to movie stars, all kinds of things like that. But he's reptilian. Just he has a life path. I don't want to make light of it, but he doesn't have the same mission as Trump. But he doesn't realize that. As soon as he said, okay, I'm not going to run for president. I'm going to support
Mhm.
Donald Trump, who is Archangel Michael. I'm going to support him with something I care about, which is nutrition. He's into nutrition. He's into working out. As soon as he did that, he completely changed his life path, his dynamic. And now he is as elevated as he saw. I mean, like it's hard to explain, but in earthly terms,
Mhm.
he's like a star. Um, but now he has a lot of work to do too. So anyway, that's the dynamic I did want to share with you. So, anything else you'd like to share before I get into your reading?
Mhm. Not that I'm thinking of at the moment, but maybe something will pop up.
Oh yeah, yeah. And also let me find my glasses. Oh, they're right here. So also keep in mind any questions that you have while, you're here with me.
Mhm.
Oh, those aren't my glasses. Hold on just one second. Let me find. They're in my pocket. Okay. So with your reading, I just talked to text. And I'll send that to you, okay?
Okay.
So you have it with you. Some of it I've already told you. But so as far as galactically, even though your grandfather is Archangel Sandalphon, your grandparents are Archangel Sandalphon and Archangel Raphael. So, but you yourself, so they are in the 12th dimension, they are Pleiadian, Arcturian, and tall white. You yourself are Pleiadian and Arcturian. So keep that in mind. And the colors you might resonate with are violet because of Archangel Raphael, and then sparkly gold and silver with just a touch of indigo. So they want you to not forget to even if it does spark jealousy, that sometimes you might it would benefit you that you might just really want to go all out beauty queen, find some experiences to do that, and buy some sparkly clothes, use sparkly makeup. And seriously, it is your mission. So please don't be afraid to be beautiful. You've had
Mhm.
experiences where people have said weird things to you. So there's no uh there's no benefit to dulling your shine. And for you, it's really literal. Like you will feel better anytime you put on something that sparkles. So this
Mhm.
isn't all the time. Like, I know you're in the movie industry. If we haven't told you, Chloe is a filmmaker. So it wouldn't be like, when you're running around backstage. But try to find times like that, vacation or
Red carpets.
they showed me that, and that really so part of your mission here, um now this is embarrassing for me because I've connected to this group and they've told me about very spiritual beings that have been here, like Dolores Cannon. But there are people here who have like studied these people their whole lives. So for me, like it's deconstruction. Like they showed me who Dolores Cannon was, and then I go look her up.
Mhm.
So for you, you are very connected to her, and she is literally passing, well, I guess it would be figuratively, spiritually, passing the torch on to you.
Mhm.
So you are on your mission with what you've talked about with me about wanting to do past life regression. And so
Mhm.
we'll get to that in just a minute, but keep that in mind. Because I wrote here, Arcturian is very creative. Pleiadian, so that's where your creativity comes from. Pleiadian is where your interest in psychology, your humanitarian work, you being protective, nurturing, intuitive, also creative. The only thing that you have to that it's actually not affecting you, but other people who are Pleiadian, but a grandchild, is you're not here to battle like Archangel Michael, but you already know that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you've discovered how to approach battle. You're a helper. So this is coming from them. Jesus is like, excuse me. So they talked to me. They said when you were younger, you're more sentimental, attached, a little bit of a bleeding heart. You had some disassociative feelings. So that means like you could be with people and you're like putting up with them or you're putting up with the situation until it just gets too big and you blow up. Um, and so they're saying like that sometimes would make you feel like, you're seeing what you described as jerks out there. And then when you experience that, you're like, well, I'm a jerk too. And they're
Mm-hmm.
saying, no, it's different. You don't have jerky intentions. When you were younger, it's just that you didn't want to battle, so things would build up. But you've moved on from that. So
What's a what's a bleeding heart? I've never heard that. Is it what you're saying right now?
yeah.
Okay. I'm
I mean,
not too sure like the meaning of a bleeding heart, that's why.
oh, bleeding heart is like anyone coming to you with a sob story
Mhm.
or asking for help, asking for something that you would feel you'd connect to them in this heart level and just give.
Mhm.
They're saying like that's how you naturally were as a child.
Mhm.
But with through the boundaries, you've over time learned like more discernment and
Mhm.
like you still care and you're going to show how you care through your work.
Mhm.
It's just uh it's not in that same way.
Yeah.
Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Mhm.
Do you have any questions though before I go on?
Well, like I also feel really connected to the Lyrian. So now that you're saying Pleiadian and Arcturian, I'm like, is it because like they have a specific qualities that I resonate to?
Yeah.
That I'm from multiple star races,
Yeah.
but that they all have their, yeah.
Yes. So this is the OG macro basic. So many things have happened then because I have so many subscribers that are into and have studied about the Lyrians, did you say?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's so many, all the names, they're saying all the names to me at once. Uh, Atlantis.
Or yeah, there's so many life forms in the
Yes.
universe, like.
Yeah. Yes, and this is what God used to create Earth.
Hmm.
Now, this isn't talking about all of your galactic lifetimes.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
those are all named too, Sirius, and then we have, the Egyptians, the Greeks. This is all on Earth, but and all of the things that the Greeks described, like Neptune being connected to Poseidon, like
Hmm.
that's all real too.
Hmm.
So that's a whole energy that a soul is a part of, but that's not on Earth. So
Hmm.
that is all valid too.
Hmm.
And you can m- make documentaries, talk to people, interview people who are into that, because many people are. Some
Hmm.
people just picked a couple of things to study. So they didn't give me the information about all of your galactic history
Hmm.
because, it could. get to be too much.
Goes on forever.
Yeah. But um, so it's funny because I wrote passing the torch to you. This happens all the time because they're talking to me and they do that so that I'm like, yeah, I see it. So it's like right after I say it, I see it in writing. So okay, so when you do your work, which is your mission, let me be very clear, is for you. So they want you to become a hypnotherapist, like a real hypnotherapist, with the emphasis on galactic encounters, ET encounters, and regressive memories, past
Mhm.
life experiences. But to ground yourself, and we talked about like legalities and things like that. And Dolores Cannon talked to me too. She very, they very clearly want you, before you do anything, describe the who, what, when, where, and why you're doing the thing. And they want it to be public knowledge, with credit given. It's not credit per se because it's not like you're creating a movie. It's just so back when Dolores Cannon did this, most people wanted to remain anonymous. But now that we're like the Jeff Mars show, now that things are getting, uh, people are having a more of an understanding and acceptance of this, they want you to, if the person allows, because you're going to meet some people that want to remain anonymous. So yes, they want you to film this. They want you to film your encounters, and they want you to ask the people before you film. Well, before you before you
Published.
film, and yeah, and before you publish, to say like, look, like we're going to go down this.
Take the glasses off. Look. Let's talk.
I have some drama in me too, the Arcturian side. So yeah, like I'm going to film you now, and some things could come up. Past life regression, trauma. And so they've said also that's why you've been interested in psychology, but you don't need to study psychology. They'd like you to study childhood trauma a little bit on your own, which they said you'll like. You don't have to go to school. Study that, but they want you to have on hand information where somebody could go, like so do a little bit of research, people in that particular area, wherever you are at the moment, someone they could reach out to for trauma, a trauma specialist. So it would be a therapist with specialty in trauma. And so yes, before you film them, say, are you okay with having this filmed? And then show them what you made and say, do you want your who, what, when, where, why attached to this, or do you want to be anonymous? And you'll get mixed results.
Mhm.
And so that will be that part of your work, and that will ground you and uh, give you this freedom to work within that. Now, as far as your creativity goes, that's going to come in how you present the information, the music, the lighting, the
Mhm.
animation, if there is some, but also there's another part of you. They had me go to your YouTube channel,
Mhm.
and I subscribed. And I watched your last video. I believe it was like 5 ways to open yourself up. to
Like, I think I was touching on like healing in our five bodies and all of that. Yeah.
yes. And so that's part of your spirituality and creativity mixed too, which is what you're supposed to be doing. So that's where you are picking ideas and putting it together as your own.
Mhm.
And so that kind of work, and they want you to have a clear distinction between, other people's experiences and explaining who these people are if they agree. And then this other work where you put together ideas. They don't want you to blend those. Like they don't want you to say like, you could possibly have a experience and then you go and say someone else's experience. And so as far as like everything that I've just said, they've downloaded this information to me. They would like me to eventually have it animated and colored, like the swirl and show the people, the beings and stuff like that. So they are asking too that that's part of my disclosure.
Mhm.
So do you get what I'm saying? Like how to keep things separate?
Mhm.
So yeah, if you wanted to go on, say your channel and say like there might be all kinds of things you research about reptilians, but if it's something like I've said about like Jesus and he's Pleiadian and stuff, they would like you to say like uh Tamara told me this and this is her channel because they have videos on that. So that's just in that particular circumstance. So that's how, because I feel like I emphasized a little too hard and I didn't mean to scare you about legalities, but understand lawfare is a way nowadays that the dark reptilian energy is getting to creators too. So just be aware of that, okay?
Mhm.
Do you have any questions? That was a lot.
Well, that last part with like the dark reptilians, like, how do they like try and like within
Okay.
this?
So, like for example, like Trump was running for president and he's very powerful. So the
Mhm.
dark reptilians, like anyone, not anyone, a lot of dark reptilians from his past, just people like he hooked up with.
Mhm.
Like I'll give you an example. He hooked up with this woman. He was leaving a department store. She um knows who he is. This is like a long time ago. They were
Mhm.
young. Um she's a star effer,
Mhm.
someone who claims to be very like above it all and moral and all that stuff. She actually wrote like a dating column. So but her core is she's a
Mhm.
star effer. She
Mhm.
doesn't have good morals. So she hit on him, and then as he's running for president, she drags him through the mud through this law. It's called lawfare now, like legal warfare. So they just want you to be careful as because they want you to make documentaries, but also eventually make movies.
Mhm.
And some of it will be from your experience and your own creativity, and some of it will be from other people's experiences. And they just want you to just dot your I's, cross your T's, cover all of your legal grounds, protect your own um, creative, metaphysical experiences, and protect others as
Mhm.
best you can.
Mhm.
Because there are a whole group of untalented dark reptilians that constantly now try to make their way into movie sets,
Mhm.
um, music moguls. They're constantly, and some of them are very intelligent. They
Mhm.
and they're
Very
very
sneaky.
they're sneaky. I mean, they're snakes. So they're, let me have a drink here. They're, they are snakes in a human body. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, they're always looking. So you have to, you have to watch out. Who are you working with? What do they know? Because time is money. You could be working with people and you're just talking about your experiences or what you want to film, and they could be like, they could say like, yeah, yeah, I'm like that too, or really they're just the lighting person, they're the
Mm-hmm.
tech person, and that's not anything to sneeze at. Those are hard jobs. These are people, many people who, some of these music moguls who have taken down these musicians, they've had lifetimes of business,
Mm-hmm.
and they're necessary. God used 50% reptilians to make the earth because galactic beings are not were not strong enough. A lot of galactic beings, go through these cycles. They bite off more than they could chew. They pass early, like uh, Mozart, they pass because of the sensitivities of what you agree to come with. Some agree, like, I'll come with and give my musical genius, but I also will have like celiac disease and pass from
Mm-hmm.
eating gluten. You know what I mean? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going off on these tangents, but sorry. Let me get back to this. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, it was clear. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yes, you will stumble upon people's early trauma. Be prepared. Um, be sensitive to it. And then some things I've even said, make sure people see the final product. Yeah, so Dolores Cannon worked at a time where she made her work like a thesis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she pieced together many different stories. So for you, I think you understand the filming of each person. And so you can also do that on your YouTube channel. Like when you're ready, film people as you're doing hypnotherapy. I mean, after they've seen it and agreed to it, that could be, I'm saying it like they're asking, they're saying they would like you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd have, that's up to you, but that's your mission. Um, this is how you would help others. Oh, I'm already saying the things. And so I had mentioned Dallas Jenkins. I don't know if you looked him up. So he's made The Chosen and he's making religious movies. And they're saying, Chloe, you have the, um, with the right team, you have the ability to be like him, but in this metaphysical realm.
Mm-hmm.
So they would like you to work towards that. Um, they've downloaded a few movies, a few projects to me. So we can talk about that offline. This is a lot already, but if that's, something you're interested in, obviously after you hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, they said, please credit me for what I'm saying, Dolores, for her what she's saying and her work, and for her being your grandparent, and Jesus. Um, I know it's hard to talk about Jesus. It's actually it's where many people have drawn the line of me. That, but you get it. So
Mm-hmm.
Be very clear about, oh, I've already told you that, who, what, when, where, why. Um, I've told you that already. Um, and understand that you making documentaries and movies, it it can be very beautiful. And they
Mhm.
had me put a rainbow. Um,
Aw.
yeah.
Mhm.
So keep that in mind. Yeah, we've already talked about the four different ships, the healing, them blinking, saying hi, disappearing, and yeah, so we've talked about all of this. Yeah.
I want to increase my telepathy with them, but I mean, I try and meditate every day, and I every time I start like a prayer, like you say, I say universe, spirit guides, and archangels.
Oh, that
So I don't know, like if for example, like within the next year, my telepathy doesn't like get better. Is it just because it's divine timing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is there a reason
yeah,
why? Hmm.
yes, there is a reason.
Hmm.
Because if so I'm a medium, okay? So if your telepathy was any higher, you would, it is high, but if they were giving you messages with the um, amount that they give me and the assignment, then you wouldn't be you.
Hmm.
You would be a medium.
Hmm.
And so that's what you would do. You would start to connect to, you know, spirits would start talking to you and asking you to give them messages. So throughout this whole thing, I am still just a messenger. So so even though I'm like my mission is to help others with their mission, it is as a messenger. So that's who I am. That's who I've been throughout lifetimes. And even many of my lifetimes I've been religious figures and I've been like writers,
Hmm.
but it was always with that in mind of messages.
Hmm.
Now, technically, you're still giving messages, but it's through, they want you to be a hypnotherapist, and a past life regressionist. So those are your two jobs, and not two, three
Hmm.
jobs, and a filmmaker. So they think that's enough. If you were getting too many messages um, every single day, that you would be, at that point, you would be a medium.
Hmm.
And so it in a way you are doing some mediumship because you
Hmm.
are getting messages from them on how to do your mission, but your mission excuse me, is not to be a medium. So
Hmm.
just, is that
Yeah,
makes
no, because I do receive downloads like or guidance and everything. So it's just that I would also like to like when I want to like talk to them, like not just like they decide whenever they drop information. You know what I mean? Like that's
right?
why I want to develop that. I'm
Okay,
not like asking someone's other deceased
right.
love,
Okay,
like
yeah.
my own connection with my own soul family.
Okay,
Hmm.
so this is your soul family.
Hmm.
So oh shoot, I forgot to ask you to take notes, but that would have been a lot. So when you re-watch this, visualize um this group. Now, like you said, understand that there are, this group goes down and there are many more saints. And this is for the people watching too, because this is your group. But for the people watching, there are, now this group are also have been saints and religious figures, but there are, all kinds of like uh, different souls. But let's not go off on that. They're telling me to focus. This is your spiritual team. So what you can do, what they would like you to do, if you're willing, which I'm glad you are, because a lot of people aren't. When you wake up, you can check out, this group downloads music. So listen to, they call it gospel music, but this is Prince, this is even they're saying David Lee Roth, uh, Queen,
Mm-hmm.
so you can watch my, I'm putting a lot of their music into, I'm making little shorts. You can watch those. But anyway, so wake up, have your private time if you can. It's hard if you're in a relationship, but as you're making breakfast, coffee, listen to music and pray to them. So remember the words that I said and just thank them. Say, thank you, God. Thank you for life. Thank you, Jesus and Mary. Thank you for peace. Thank you, Mother Mary. Thank you for comfort. And go through that. Walk around, meditate, sit, talk to them. Say thank you, Pleiadians. Thank you, Arcturians. And thank you, Tall Whites, as they're helping you. And then just ask them, is there anything you would like me to know today?
Mm-hmm.
And that will strengthen your connection to them. And you can also just talk to them. Archangel Michael shows himself to me through feathers. Archangel Gabriel, Freddie Mercury. He's like, excuse me, I forgot his name for a second because they're all talking to me. Archangel Gabriel shows himself to me through, he showed himself to me through flies, actually. Came in as a fly and just sat on my medicine cabinet, and I kept opening and closing it and he wouldn't move. So you can like say, come to me as this. My mom passed for a while. She was coming to me as dragonflies. And yeah, I'm gonna at some point put on my YouTube channel the picture. I live in Manhattan, and I had a dragonfly in my house, just living in my room. Um, my brother came to me when he passed he's Archangel Gabriel, as a ladybug. So anyway, you can say to them, like, show me this. And they'll do that. And then sometimes they'll also like have you look at something online. They can work with you through the internet and things like that. But I will help you with that too.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just a start, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I actually feel like right now we should wrap this up,
Mm-hmm.
if that's okay.
That's
Just
okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, just because of time. But also after this, uh, please let me know if you have more questions. And as you're working through this, I can help you too.
Mm-hmm. And I can send you that site where you can send me the video if that's okay with you, because I would like to share, if that's okay with you, like little parts of conversations and stuff.
Yes, of course. So I did look that up. It's like we something.
E-transfer, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I haven't signed up for that yet because I was planning on. It's interesting. Before I joined their membership, I was able to press on something before hitting play, and it said, like, make this other person a host. And that all got lost with this new membership that I have. So if you haven't, I forgot to ask you to film this, but if you haven't, um, it's going to be on my YouTube channel. So you can, like, I think you can put it on your YouTube channel from mine. But also, in addition to that, I have to join that website and figure that out, but and I will
Because
send.
I don't know, like I think sometimes it's just like you open the page and then you can like send something with your email and it doesn't really ask you to sign up or anything. So I can look that up on my side because everyone uses that like it's super like easy to use. Like I don't think you need like any membership or anything, but I'll do my research and I'll let you know. It's super simple. You just download the file with your email, my email, and then it does it for you.
Okay,
I received the link, I open it, and that's it.
okay, so I will do that. Until I do that, it's going to, are you okay with me putting this on my YouTube channel? Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah, it's just me. I might like do small, just bits of conversations for like Instagram and stuff,
Oh,
but I'll add your link and everything, of
okay.
course.
Well, I'm definitely going to send it to you. Um, I just give me time to sign up for that. But until then, it's going to be on my YouTube channel. Um, and also, um, so I'll put in like your YouTube channel. If you wouldn't mind, you can make a comment, right? And so anyone watching now, look for comment and I'll make it top comment. And
Hmm.
I'll also take information from that comment and put it in the description. So in the comment, put like your YouTube channel, your Instagram page, anything you want people to know about you.
Hmm.
And then I'll also copy and paste that and put it in my description.
Perfect.
Yeah, and so people can join your channel because Chloe, you also have to understand that so many people ask me to make videos like the one I just watched of yours. Um, and I can do this down the road, but I have like a list of people that I now alive and who
Mhm.
have passed that want to do interviews.
Mhm.
But when they were like nudging me and teasing me. They had me go to your YouTube channel. And this is exactly what people ask me for. Tamara,
Mhm.
can you give us 5 ways to open ourselves up? Can you give us, they want a list, how to do this, 5 ways to clear your space, things like that. Um,
Mhm.
and I just haven't been able to do that. So anyway, just know that I'm going to send people to your channel and know that making things like that is also like it's very asked for and it's very important. And I'm going to work with you.
Mhm.
I asked you to, do what you do in the morning and then we'll keep in touch
Mhm.
as to how that's working out for you and how I
Mhm.
can help further.
Mhm.
Okay. And also with the other stuff too, I know you're very busy working on projects now, but eventually down the line, me showing you my projects and things like that.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
And thank you so much. And please do put all your information in because people will look for it right away. Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
I'll do the same from my side. When I post stuff with you all, if you can like send me all your like socials and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'll do that. Okay,
Mhm.
great. All right.
No rush whatsoever.
Oh, okay. Um, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tamara. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Yeah, you too. And I'm going to put this up now.
Okay,
Okay.
sweet.
Bye. Bye, Chloe.
Good luck with that.
All right, thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, bye.
And let's thank the whole team, and they say bye too, and they're blowing kisses and tickling you. And they said, be open to them tickling you.
Okay, I will.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that. All right, bye.
Bye.
Let's see.